Hey everyone, Michelle Sizemore here. I'm an advisor with Creative Memories, and today you'll learn how to make this patriotic border using the Cyclic Circles border maker cartridge. And I also used red, white, and blue cardstock and a light blue cardstock and paper from the All-American Blast collection, which is our summer 2025 scrapbook collection for this Patriotic. All right, let's get started. This is everything I used. I just kind of put a bunch of scraps in here. I didn't use all these, but these are the colors. So I used a blue cardstock, red, white cardstock, and this is a paper that goes with the collection, All-American Blast. And then these are just some more cardstocks. I just wanted to try to use up my scraps, so I just kind of threw a bunch in here. Okay, we're going to start with making the circles. And I'm going to show you a trick with the border maker system. So let's take this out so you can see what it's like start to finish. So you put this is what the cartridge looks like. You put it in here with the metal pieces sticking out, and that makes this pop up. And then you open your tray here, and it just pops in place. And then you put your cardstock in here, and I'm going to try to use this scrap and show you a trick. You put your cardstock in here and line the edges up with all of the edges of the tray. Now when you close it, it's not going to work like this because the paper is not long enough for the magnet to engage with it. You can see normally your paper or your cardstock would come out past here. You would put this down and it would grip it in place, but you don't have that. So what we're going to do is add some Post-it notes to it so that it'll have something to grip onto. I'm going to add about 4. 3 would probably be fine, but I'm going to add 4. No, I don't think I have room for 4. Let's just do 3. Okay. All right. Now, well, that one's over. Okay, I need to not put it over so far because it's going to actually punch right here because I did it once to see if it would work. So let's move these down just a little. Okay, now we're going to put this in here. And basically these Post-it notes, it's just like pretend that they're an extension of your page. Like your paper is just wider than what it is. So you're going to put this in, line it up with all the edges, here, here, and here. Put your magnetic arm down, and now it clings to the Post-it notes so it stays in place. So then you put this underneath, put your cardstock in right here. I've already punched one, so I'm going to just move to the next one. So we're going to start. You want to make sure you put your cardstock in there and that these 2 little notches match up right here. And that means everything fits together underneath. And then you punch, pull it out just a little bit, match your notches and punch, and just go all the way down. Okay, so now I have these circles that I need, okay? And since I wasn't planning on using the outer part as a border, I'm just going to throw this away. Although that is kind of a cool look. Nah, I'm not gonna do anything with that. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna move these aside and actually put them in. I've got a bucket full of scraps that I've already punched to show you this idea. Okay, and then the rest is so easy. Well, it's all easy. I'm going to grab my 12-inch trimmer. And the part that I need from this, I just want the part that looks like this, which is the red and white stripe with the blue stars. Okay. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to try to do this with one cut, but I might have to go back and clean it up. But the wonderful thing about this, well, there's a lot of wonderful things about this trimmer, but you want your blade to come down. It's going to come down on this left-hand side dotted line right here. And I want that to come down right on top of the light blue part where those stars are. So I'm going to line it up with that left-hand side dotted line and make sure it's straight at the top as well. To me, that looks like where I should cut, but I have an extra way to check. There's this little clear thing. I'm going to hold it up here. There's this little clear thing that tucks away under here, and most people don't even know it's there. You pull it out. It has a little black line on it. And when you go down, it's going to show you exactly where it's going to cut. It looks to me like the cut will be perfect, but if a little bit of navy ends up showing up, I can snip it off. And you want to make sure your straight blade is in, so it is. So I cut that. It looks like it was perfect. I don't see any navy blue at all on there. And then it looks good for me to use that part later. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with the red part. I'm going to check it. I think I can come over just a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Normally, I don't really need to use this part if I'm just using a regular paper, but when you're trying to cut along a specific line, it really is handy. And I do see where I got just a tiny bit of that aqua on there, so I'm going to trim that off. I'm just going to cut off another smidge here. I'm going to line this up with the right-hand side dotted line, and that'll just make it cut off just a tiny little bit, probably like 1/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to make sure, yeah, that's going to be good. And now I think it'll be perfect. So yeah, I got that little tiny bit. So yeah, I've got a great cut on there. All right, I'm going to set this part aside. Grab my light blue cardstock. And the first thing I want to do before I use this cardstock is put all of my little circles underneath where the stars are. So let me grab my silicone mat while I tear up my display here. Okay. I always use this when I'm using my repositionable tape runner because it doesn't stick to it. And I just have a bunch of random red, white, and blue circles that I punched out. And then these little things are just the scraps of that I would probably throw away. Except I do see one use for them. If they turn out like this, some of them do. That could be like little, if you have a beach scene, like a beach border, you could do these in black and they could be like little birds in the air. Or, you know, any kind of scene really. But they make me think of seagulls in the air. Because you would normally draw them like that. Okay, that's where my imagination goes. But for now, let's just use the circles. So I'm going to mount my circles underneath the stars. So I'll be right back. I want to show you this. This is called a lifter stick. When you've got a bunch of little things like this, normally, sometimes they're harder to pick up, especially if they're even smaller than this. And I would kind of wet my finger and just grab it, but that's kind of gross. So this is called a lifter stick, and it's sticky on one end. So when you have little things like this, you can just grab it with that. I'm going to grab a few. Okay. And then I'm just going to close it up. Oops. I'm going to close it up and put it with my supplies over here. Okay. So I've got some random little circles. So what I want to do, I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner on the back behind all the little blue stars. Just some. Actually, I'm going to be generous with it since I'm sticking a lot of these on there. I need it to be fully covered with adhesive. And I'm just going to do this where I just look at it and I want about the same amount to show underneath, just sticking out, so it's kind of like a scallop border or kind of like a, you know, banner flag on string or something. So we're going to do red, white, and they're going to overlap just a little bit. in blue. Okay, now I'm just going to stop there because that's how it works all the way down. And then when you're done, you just mount it to the top of your light blue cardstock. Super easy, and I tend to like to do things easy but cute. So I love that. And then so I could finish off this page with my photos. This could be like, you could put like a little title here, put your photos here. Like I could do like a little 4x4 title up here. I'm just sort of, this is just, oops, I didn't do that hard enough. Okay, so yeah, you can have like a little cute festive fireworks, 4th of July, whatever title there. Add your photos here. Yeah, like you could do this. So this is a typical layout I use. I might want to cut this down to a 4x5. So I'm going to line this up at the 5-inch mark on my trimmer here. And cut. Yeah, so you could just add your photos the way you want. This could be a cute card. This could be a photo, and you could put like a little journal box here, or move your photos down here and put a journal, some journaling there. So anyway, you get, it's just kind of like I do on a lot of my videos, but quick and easy border, kind of an out of the box way to use the Cyclic Circles border punch, because usually when people use these, they're just thinking of the border it creates like this. But I wanted to show you how to use the trash from it. And I actually have a lot of other ideas I'm going to do another video on how to use these circles. And let me grab this. I'm going to show you one more thing. I was going to do a video on this, but I don't think I'm going to right now. I punched out a row of the blue here, and I'm just going to explain to you how I did it. Like this. And then I cut it here with my trimmer. I just kind of measured to figure out how wide to cut it to make it even. And then I mounted this onto the white. And then I took the circles. I punched out some red and light blue circles. And then I just put some tape runner on them and put them in the holes. And then added a little red border and put it on this paper. All of this paper is from All American Blast, and this is all cardstock. So that's two different ideas you can do with that punch and that Border Maker cartridge, and they're completely different looking. So, all right, well, thanks for having time to watch my video, or taking time to watch my video, I should say, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.